Welcome to Monday, September 22nd, 2025. It's the first official day of astronomical fall, your day weather podcast, brought to you by the Advocates Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, don't face it alone. Get an experienced local Wyoming attorney on your side. Free consultations at wyomingadvocates.com or call 307-800-1952. Well, that's exactly when it happens. The fall equinox at 12:19 Mountain Time today. Astronomical fall kicking in the full gear. Meteorological fall started on September 1st, but now we're really looking at the daylight hours shortening a lot. They've been doing that here lately, but now just accelerating. What's going to be happening over the next 48 hours is that for a large part of the Central Rockies, there's going to be a small little system sneaking in out of British Columbia and Alberta and sliding in. Now, on its own, this is not a terribly impressive system, but it has a lot of moisture to work with. Some of it subtropical leftover from Tropical Storm Mario that's been in the western United States for the last several days, and also a little bit more moisture coming up from the south. So it's going to be a cool, wet period of weather for some of you. It's not going to be over a large area, but it'll be pretty impressive in the areas where the heavier moisture will converge. And it will be cold enough for snow in some of the high elevations. A heads up to archery hunters in the high elevations of Wyoming and Colorado. I think pretty high up, you're going to see some snow. Snow levels are going to be pretty high, but overnight into Tuesday morning, it may snow on some elk hunting camps up high. And then it's right back to some nice September weather for the second half of the week. And I think we're going to end up with a pretty good weekend as well. Then we'll queue up and look at bigger changes brewing as we head towards October. But confidence levels in the long-range modeling aren't really good right now. I think we're going to wait a day or two before we take a look at 10 days out so we can have a better handle on what's going on. As you can surmise this time of year, the aspen colors and the photos of fall colors really beginning to come on in. A beautiful shot there out of Wind River country, then into Colorado. The colors turning, and then just beautiful skyscapes over this past weekend and late last week all across the region. Boy, look at the color there. Beautiful shot northwest of Cheyenne, and just more great cloudscapes, great photos coming in from the Casper Air Tanker Base there. And then how about that for some awesome cirrus clouds? Don't need to tell you where that photo was taken. And then some late fall, let's say late summer rainbow activity being reported across the region with the showers that have popped up here and there. There's another fall, early fall, late summer rainbow there for you. Now, as we take a look at what's going to be developing, we're going to see less in the way of clear skies like this in the evening. Beautiful shot there. And as we go on into, we're going to see the western United States underneath an upslope pattern because of the sneaky little low dropping out of British Columbia. This morning, it's going to be over northwest Montana near Glacier Park. And then, as we showed you late last week, it was going to sneak in and kind of come in from the north-northwest and slide right into the Central Rockies. Now, it doesn't have with it a lot of cold Canadian air, but the combination of moisture flowing from this low and the moisture left behind from Mario is going to make for a very moist pattern. Now, it doesn't look like much, but here is the upper level low up into Montana. Here's some subtropical moisture coming in, and here's moisture left behind from Mario that produced quite a bit of shower and thunderstorm activity in some areas yesterday. And on the water vapor, you can see some impressive moisture there as well. When we see where this low is going to be by tomorrow, this is by noon tomorrow. It slides all the way to near Grand Junction, Colorado. Again, on the whole, it's not a terribly impressive system. But when you have a slow-moving system like this and a lot of moisture and upslope conditions, well, indications suggest that you're going to be able to focus a lot of moisture into one small area. So this is at 500 millibars or 18,000 feet by tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Mountain Time. Notice the wind barbs here. This narrow area right here, the winds are coming in from the east-northeast right into southern Wyoming and northern Colorado. So we've got an upslope pattern in a narrow area, and the air temperatures aloft right here are going to be pretty cool. So when you combine that, upslope conditions colder temperatures aloft and a lot of moisture. Plus at 10,000 feet, these are the winds at 10,000 feet. They're coming in from the northeast as well. So the higher terrain in southern Wyoming and northern Colorado and into central Wyoming is going to be the focus point where the deeper moisture is just going to want to converge. And if we look at the precipitable water over the next 48 hours, very impressive. You can see right here at the end, there's a blue enhancement where the higher precipitable water is right along the Colorado-Wyoming border area. We continue to see moisture down here in California and Arizona, down into New Mexico. So it's converging in one particular area. So you're going to have this axis of heavier moisture like this. It's a narrow band. And when you get into these narrow band situations, if you're here or you're here, either you're going to see the moisture move in or you're just going to be on the edge. So we're going to have this axis of heavier moisture, pretty confident of this, but it could be a little more north, it could be a little more south, but it really does seem to be converging on the Interstate 80 corridor of Wyoming, west of Cheyenne to Laramie, along Interstate 80 to near Rock Springs, Green River, then up into Wind River country where the upslope against the Wind River Mountains could be quite impressive in the mountains of southern Wyoming. And then look at Colorado's north central mountains here. There's going to be a focus of the deeper moisture upslope into there. So this narrow area is going to see significant moisture. We'll have some heavier thunderstorms out here in the southern plains, and we do have some risk of strong thunderstorm activity in those areas there. When we look at the temperature anomalies, by 6 p.m. tonight, you can see underneath that low, it is very cool by noontime tomorrow. And notice where the coldest temperatures are, where the upslope is, where the thicker clouds and that moisture will be converging. And if we go and look at 10,000 foot temperatures tonight, at midnight tonight, these will be the temperatures in Celsius. So these are in Celsius. So where you see the gray, it's 0, it's below freezing. So you can count on really good chances of mountain snow. Snow levels getting lower up there. When we see these 1s and these 2s and these 3s, this is when you'll see the snow at 10,000 feet due to evaporative cooling. As the rain falls, some of it evaporates. That causes the atmosphere to cool. That will drop temperatures a little bit more. So there is that risk of some snow in the Wind Rivers, some of the Absarokas, the Beartooths, a little in the Bighorns. But the mountains of central and northern Colorado, the Snowy Range, the Sierra Madres of southern Wyoming, some of the Uintas will get some snow late tonight into early tomorrow, and we could see some heavier snow. Look at that, into the central and north central mountains of Colorado. So hunters, be advised. But once that all goes off to the east, we have high pressure moving in, the low skedaddles into the Great Lakes, and we have this little area of high pressure, although low pressure continues to hang around California, keeping showers in the forecast for the southwestern United States. But generally, it's back to a mild Pacific flow by the end of the week, and there it is into the weekend. Now, into the weekend, that low in Southern California is still there. So showers and thunderstorms in the desert Southwest and the Southern Rockies, Four Corners area will persist into the weekend. But most of the nation, the flow of air is from the Pacific. So that's going to mean a mild weekend of temperatures. We just may have a little bit of shower activity in the West this upcoming weekend. And we're going to have more tropical activity. In fact, the Atlantic is heating up. This is Gabrielle. That's going to go out to here, not be a factor, but we've got 2 more developing here over the next 7 days, something to keep an eye on. Have yourself a good Monday. We'll see you tomorrow.